in the year 2047, humanity believed it had finally found peace. The great wars of history were relics, confined to textbooks. Our gaze was fixed on the stars, not as a battlefield, but as our next great frontier. We dreamed of becoming a spacefaring civilization, united in our quest for knowledge. We had no idea that this year, the year of our greatest hope, would become the first chapter of our darkest hour. It happened on August 12th at precisely 4:32 Coordinated Universal Time. Behind the silent face of the moon, the fabric of space itself seemed to tear open. The early warning systems of the United Earth Alliance screamed to life, tracking over 300 colossal objects appearing out of nowhere. They moved in perfect, synchronized formation, a terrifying dance that no natural phenomenon could ever explain. The silent ballet of cosmic dread had begun. Thousands of miles away, at an airbase in the Nevada desert, Captain James Carter was just about to end his shift. He was 34 years old, a seasoned pilot who thought he had seen it all. Then every radar screen in the control room bled red. The alarms blared, a frantic heartbeat signaling the end of the world as he knew it. 7 minutes later, every satellite in orbit went dark. The world was deaf, blind, and utterly alone. At 5:10, the invasion began. It wasn't an attack. It was an execution. Columns of incandescent blue light descended from the heavens, cosmic scythes reaping cities from the face of the earth. Los Angeles, the city of angels, vanished in less than an hour. Tokyo became a sea of fire. London choked and drowned in a cloud of toxic alien smoke. There were no declarations of war, no attempts at communication, no negotiations. The beings that came from the sky were not explorers. They were chaotic scramble. James Carter took to the skies. He led his squadron into a maelstrom of light and fire. Against impossible odds, they managed to bring down a single alien scout ship, a fleeting, hollow victory. Before they could even register their success, 3 more enemy craft appeared, and in an instant they erased his wingman from existence. James watched in horror as his comrades, his friends, exploded into silent blossoms of white light. There were no screams, no final words, just a sudden, brutal absence. The first 72 hours were a blur of planetary annihilation. Over 400 million people were dead. Humanity's proudest achievements, our towering cities and cultural monuments, were reduced to rubble and ash. The initial shock gave way to a chilling, global terror. We weren't just losing a war, we were being systematically culled. While the skies burned, deep beneath the fortress of the Alps, a different kind of battle was being waged. Dr. Anna Keller, a brilliant 42-year-old linguist and expert in xenobiology, worked tirelessly in a subterranean lab. She analyzed the strange, pulsing interference signals that emanated from the alien vessels. It was a complex, layered signal that defied all known forms of communication. As she painstakingly reconstructed the pulse sequences, a truth far more terrifying than simple conquest emerged. This wasn't a language. It was a command structure, a series of cold, logical instructions. The aliens, who the remnants of human intelligence had named the Verex, did not see us as a rival civilization. They didn't view us as enemies to be conquered or subjects to be ruled. To them, Earth was a resource planet, a prize to be harvested. And humanity, we were nothing more than an obstacle, an infestation to be cleared. By October 2047, the world we knew was gone. Global governments had shattered. The rule of law was a distant memory. All that remained were scattered pockets of resistance, isolated zones of defiance across a dying planet. Humanity was broken, but not yet extinct. James Carter had somehow survived. His jet was shot down over the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Sahara Desert. He was found near death by a patrol from the North African guerrilla forces, led by a man named Major Ethan Brooks. Ethan was a pragmatist, a soldier hardened by the new reality. He didn't speak of victory. He didn't believe in fairy tales. He believed in one thing: buying time. "We don't need to win," he told James, his voice raspy from the desert dust. "We just need to make them bleed. Make this harvest so costly they'll remember it for 1,000 years." And so humanity began to bleed them. The first major counterattack was launched on December 3, 2047. It was a suicide mission, and everyone knew it. James Carter, now a legend among the survivors, led the assault. He had a squadron of exactly 9 operational aircraft, all that was left of the World-S Air Forces in the region. Their target was a Verex mothership, a monstrous city-sized vessel hanging in the upper atmosphere, coordinating the planetary purge. The battle was short and brutal. One by one, James's fellow pilots were picked off. As he closed in on the mothership, a burst of energy fire fried his weapon systems. His jet was crippled, his guns silent. But James Carter was not done fighting. He had one weapon left: himself. In his final moments, he made a choice. He overrode the safety protocols, overloading his jet's fusion reactor. His plane became a missile, a spear of human defiance. He aimed it directly at the mothership's glowing energy core and pushed the throttle to its limit. The explosion tore the sky in two. For the first time since the invasion began, a Verex mothership was destroyed. It fell from the heavens like a broken god, a testament to the cost of underestimating a cornered animal. James Carter died in that fireball, but in his death he became something more than a man. He became a symbol. His sacrifice was a spark that ignited a fire in the hearts of the survivors. A fire born of the desperate, unbreakable will of a species on the very brink of extinction. The year 2048 was a year of discovery. Inspired by Carter's sacrifice, Dr. Anna Keller relentlessly pursued her research. She finally cracked the code, not of their language, but of their biology. The Verex had a critical weakness. They were incredibly vulnerable to a specific combination of low-frequency sound waves and chaotic magnetic fields. The very interference they generated, the noise that humans had dismissed, could be turned into a weapon against them. We finally had a sword to fight back. Humanity's remaining scientists and engineers worked feverishly. A plan was forged, a global counteroffensive codenamed Operation Dawnfall. It was our last desperate gambit. But just as the world prepared to unleash its secret weapon, a horrifying new piece of intelligence surfaced. The Verrex were pulling back. Their ships were ascending, leaving the ravaged surface of the Earth. It wasn't a retreat born of defeat. It was the end of a cycle. They hadn't lost, they had finished. Earth had been marked, harvested, and prepared for whatever came next. This new revelation changed everything. On June 21, 2049, Operation Dawnfall was initiated, not as an attack, but as a final planet-wide expulsion. Every remaining transmitter, every reactor, every satellite dish on Earth was activated at once. They unleashed a cacophony of sound and a storm of magnetic chaos. The sky itself trembled. The planet's magnetic field twisted violently, a planetary immune system fighting off a cosmic infection. Dozens of Verrex ships, caught in this invisible net, faltered and fell, burning like meteors through the atmosphere they had sought to claim. The cost of this victory was catastrophic. Earth's electrical infrastructure was shattered beyond repair. The violent shift in the magnetic field triggered devastating climate instability. Humanity had saved itself, but in doing so had plunged its world into a new dark age. Billions were left to survive in darkness and cold, on a planet scarred by both alien invaders and its own desperate defense. On January 2, 2050, the last Verrex vessel vanished from scanners, disappearing beyond Earth's orbit. The war was over. Humanity had survived. Or so we believed. Years passed, the skies grew quiet again. Cities were slowly, painstakingly rebuilt. Dr. Anna Keller stood before a stark memorial of polished black stone. On it, etched among millions of others, was the name James Carter. She looked up at the calm, peaceful sky, a sky he had died to reclaim. But back in her laboratory, a single piece of unpublished data from the war continued to blink on a forgotten monitor. It was a faint signal captured in the final moments of the Verrex withdrawal, originating from the cold, dark edge of the galaxy. She had finally decoded it. It wasn't a message of surrender or a threat of revenge. It was a report, a single, chilling line of text. Phase 1. Complete. Preparing Phase 2. Standing there, before the monument to the fallen, Anna whispered to the wind, a promise to James Carter and to all of humanity. Next time, we won't just survive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. See you next time.